far. So yeah, I think this is a series with the potential to go the distance, and, you know, with playoffs or bust on the line, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I also think, you know, even though we've not been looking at NiP's Nuke, that has been their go-to map on alongside Train, right? It's just obviously Train's more specialized because most teams aren't playing it, but NiP have had great success on that map as of late, and it's a really hard map if you have a weak player. 1 week gap on a map like Nuke, and G2 might struggle. That's all later, though. We start with Dust. The map that G2 have won 3 out of 3 times here, as Dust was saying, kept up their 9-win streak and played some good CS on it. Taz has not been caught off guard on this map. We'll see if that remains to be true as G2 look to play their final match to get into the playoffs with a coach as a stand-in. MIBR's very low from that nade. He's still going to get the molly out. This is all a fake. Oh.
Great opening for MIBR. And even the follow-up tag, ODDIK will hold on, but look at what this has done. It's scrambled the rotates, and G2 get the space out on long that they were hoping for. Trying to close the gap now. Taz and Heavy God fighting first. Oh, Heavy God, what? Follow-up on the smoke. Hades doesn't overextend. I like that he's pulling back here, not running the risk of going down in this mid flank. He knows there's a lot of pressure on Arastos and ODDIK, and they've got nowhere to go. By not offering up that kill, they'll never be in with the chance of winning this pistol. And Hades will cut them both down as they look to leave. That's G2 on the board to open up Dust2.
Smart pistol, and I've got to say, I'm surprised NiP didn't fall for it as hard as they could have. They rotated really quick back into that A bomb site, but Wrinkle caught climbing up the box. It's the Heavy God P250 that we saw on Mirage that was so stunning. Gives us some key entries as that smoke comes down. G2 take the pistol with some pizzazz, Harry. Like that call. Ooh, Wrinkle with a yawn.
They even had a mic issue. That's the reason for this tech pause.
No comms.
And they nailed it, man. Just running on vibes.
Running off vibes. That is the G2 way, isn't it? It's nothing new there. And a pistol in their pocket. I mean, we have some really high-flying NiP players today coming into the server, so G2 are going to have their work cut out for them. Shush, third-rated player of the event. Wrinkle at number 8. Only MIBR is in that, you know, top 12 for G2. Heavy God just outside. MIBR at number 4. We have a force up for NiP. Good D for Wrinkle, keeps things in the advantage and even gets out as well. The smoke comes blocking on G2. They can skate round it if they want to risk it. More likely going to see them wait this out. Oh, wait, there's a bit of an issue there. Snappy doesn't realize. Heavy God wide on the smoke. Don't give this scout any more damage here. G2 have been given a gift. What will they do with it?
No one can seem to get a bearing on Heavy God. Finally, it will come through. This scout is juggled around and allowed to keep fighting. Taz had the clutch up, and he can't quite find Wrinkle. There's the response, forced by success for NiP. Brings the hype to the guys early. They get fired up at the end of that round.
Almost saw the Taz spray transfer right down.
I said to you coming into this map, I think Taz is about to pop off.
Okay.
No reason other than he said hello to us this morning.
That's not a good reason.
That to me screams confidence.
Business. All business for Taz. Look, pop off, I don't know about that. It's more about whether he can maintain a good enough game to keep G2 in this, get his 1-2 kills in the moments he's asked for. Taz staying under the radar is good enough. We need players like MIBR and Heavy God who have been the higher flying players for G2. MIBR had a slow start to this tournament, as G2 did as a whole, but now they got the rust off, and MIBR has had a couple of really good series in a row, so it's very reassuring for G2. Not in that round though. NiP with a force buy. Come through and some well-placed deags pick up a second. Wrinkle AK Goose. And Arostos jumping and baiting for him. This could be another wrinkle highlight. Two mollies may give away the game, but it also buys time that G2 don't have. Oh, he let them go on that.
They get ahead of it. Wrinkle's flash will leave them blind, but
yeah.
Heavy got able to get gun on in time, and suddenly Arostos feeling a lot of pressure, low on health. It's this flank from Snappy that might have to seal the deal. There's something about these captains walking through short smokes, especially if they're Danish. Oh, ODDIK clamps down upon it, and it's just Heavy God chases down the kill at ramp, but won't have the time here.
Right.
2 seconds.
Oh.
Can't quite get to Snappy in time.
Snappy swung that. He gave him the chance to win the round, but yeah, Heavy God's running for the kill. I can't believe NiP win that. It's all really thanks to Snappy. Massive 3K on the flank. They kind of screwed up the setup. Arostos has double molly smoke. He lets the first molly fade, doesn't replenish it till it's too late. They already get out, so no smoke in play. And then Wrinkle, sure, he's flash playing there. He wants to go wide, but he completely missed that spray, didn't he? Doesn't matter. NiP pick it up, and they put Snacks down.
Lower tunnel will be taken by MongolZ and his dastardly dig. Aggression at the long doors could get punished here as well, but Arostos just gonna snipe a kill away from the pack and lives to tell the tale. Good stuff, he doesn't overextend there. Going back in, I'll set him up with the same play. And once more, he'll give them results. Taz, Shadow gives away that peek, and that's nice and easy for Arostos.
Flash me once, shame on you. Flash me twice, shame on me. Flash me 3 times, you can't buy 3 flashes. All right, NiP off to a good start. G2 haven't, well, I say they haven't had guns apart from that second round, right? But losing to the Force, this is their best buy yet. 3 AKs. Blocked out of long. Taz on the Deagle. I guess he dropped that scout last round. Playing sacrificial. G2 get the cat control. They aren't vying for it too heavily. Snappy is here. Snacks does beat that util. No concern to NiP with Shush tucked in. You would expect to see him on the B-bomb site here. Instead, it's Wrinkle AWPing tunnels.
Ooh, Taz teasing a couple of steps, lobbing in a lurk smoke, but because Wrinkle was there, it's made contact with him.
It's actually kind of a nice smoke now for NiP in a way, but oh dear. Now it's a perfect cat split.
I mean, that's Snappy with the lesser weaponry, trying to get some info, trying to make a bit of a play. Long have been quiet for so long. You hope there would be room there.
Wow.
But as G2 try and come through the catwalk, they don't like what they see. It's into Shush and Arostos on this hold. Bomb now out in no man's land.
There's nothing to save.
And Taz only has this Deagle. He wants to
looking for a
try
gun
and find something else, but not being given the room to do so.
Oh no.
That's actually, you know, Taz dying there.
Before
that's fine.
time.
Yeah, before time runs out. That's not. That's fine.
Could have been fine. Could have been worse. Was fine. And Awkward again for G2.
He made more dying than he would have saved with the Deegan armor.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's very content
keeps the
with
money
that.
even. I'm with you. And good util holding for NiP again, right? Liking the idea. They're clearly trying to stall out this cat play in these rounds, and they did so again. Smoke coming down at sub 30 seconds means G2 have to go through, and Arostos puts on a great show with that double. Just Heavy God's AK, and yeah, great round to go to that B bomb site. It is Shush, the anchor man of this position. The player that has been at the forefront of this NiP team at this event. Boost coming up, but this is unrealistic. It typically takes a triple boost to get a real view over this smoke. And NiP are ready to just continue blocking, even that Molotov. Displacing G2. Ujug's in a great position at the same time. Flashes most of the time will not connect. He's got a lot of block from the car. So unless there's a stunning entry here for Heavy God, this one should reach its natural conclusion. That smoke is going to give them a bit of breathing room. NiP know, like, they know what's going on. The whole map is quiet right now.
Yeah, Arostos starts to peel over as well. There's a third player en route. Opener for Taz, but here come the rotates. And they'll cut through that tunnel's play.
Are we going to have a late tournament activation for Arostos? He's actually been pretty quiet. The Portuguese players haven't been stunning here on this NiP team, even though they were really, really good in Saw. We saw what they could do up on the stage. But so far in this NiP team, they've looked lesser than what we saw in their previous squad. And Arostos is coming looking very sharp to this map. Back-to-back multi-kills. Right place, right time, 5-1.
Oh, fast out long. Taz, tip of the spear, gets out to the blue bin, but nades are coming. They'll soften up Taz. 3 players ready to face him as well. He's just seen a man pit side, and so Snappy collects that kill for free.
What can you do there?
Good protocol on like the tandem molly nade combo for NiP.
Who threw that? G2 snacks up Cat. Can't play yet, and the AWP is there. Snappy alone at long could be a way in, especially in this fading smoke, but he walks through. These in-game leaders are getting crazy right now, and he's going to find a headshot from it. There's a trade, but he adds in some chaos to this round. Re-peek, missed shot. Hades closes the gap. Oh.
Arostos in fantastic form.
Oh.
Oh, yes, that's fantastic, but they line up for Heavy God.
Maybe.
He's on his way to an ace clutch here. 3 kills deep. Gonna go looking, and Ujug's here. Could offer up the 1v1. Doesn't want to overplay his hand. He's now given the info to Shush, so he's going to wait for him to close this gap. For the time being, Heavy God has some room to work with. Bomb plant found. Aware of this possibility of the long wrap. Gonna go back, and Shush will make quick work at the Heavy God.
What a shot. NT for Heavy God makes that very interesting. But that's all after Arostos has yet another multi-kill. 3 multi-kill rounds in a row. He is not slowing down, is he?
No, it would be divine for NiP to have, you know, Arostos kind of hit that high level of play you know he's capable of and hasn't always delivered. Since stepping into this NiP team, I think that's just going to give them so much more to work with. Right, when this guy's switched on, boy, do your opponents know about it. Very active on this CT side, always keeping G2 guessing. Ujug's putting his name in the kill feed too. So it's the other half of that XOR duo to find the opener in this round for NiP.
G2 have felt really constricted in the map. I mean, they've been getting dealt some really annoying plays, some late blocking util, some smoke pushes. Not all of which have worked, but all of which have shown NiP have come in confident to this game with a lot to prove. Where Big and MAT have frankly disappointed in losing to a team with a stand-in. NiP don't want to join that exclusive group. Seizing G2's map pick. 6-1 up. Another info play. Shush has gone through B on his own, shifting the whole way, and the map shrinks.
They've got no idea.
Just
3 heads. He's going to put himself up to start tapping them out. 2 from him, and it's like, you know he's the guy from B, you know where he's come pushing from, but you're dead on. With only 20 seconds, your only option is to fight forward. It's MongolZ and HeavyGod. This is the hard-hitting duo for G2. If anyone can make this happen, you've got to believe it's these two, but HeavyGod planting this bomb will get whittled down, looking for Astralis. He can't quite find him. Knife pulled, that cost him his life. But the rest of the gang were there, keen and ready to trade. NiP, they're very happy they're able to put a stop to that one before it becomes any type of problem. And, you know, for NiP, at this event, Dust2 has not been kind to them.
I mean,
losing it to Spirit and VP. The Spirit one was like the first ever pro deathmatch game. Just watching Donk and Shiro freestyle around the map. The VP game was far closer though, with this being one of the home maps for that squad. Shows the NiP do have their ideas. They know what they want to try and get going here on Dust, and right now it's well and truly going.
But this is also...
Quite soon the half might be gone. Yeah. G2 have to turn this around in some shape or form soon. They're going to try and get out the long doors. And Astralis here with support from Snappy, who's good for the first. You can see Wrinkle peeling over now on that AWP. They'll lose Astralis in pit, and with it they kind of lose the lust to fight for this long control.
NiP
even 3-on-3.
NiP are always offering a flash, always assisting a teammate, always setting something up. They're never static, they're never immobile. There's some really good communication in this team right now. You can see it. There's always something else landing. Oh, that's a way in, dude. HeavyGod's trying to win this game on his own right now. Look at Snax with the bomb towards B. HeavyGod needs his next kill, or Snax will be stuck alone in the B bomb site. He's drawing them all over right now. Shush in the middle.
Shush goes to save. Like, the bomb's in B.
Okay.
If Shush leaves, luckily enough, he's still fighting this. And I hope Snax just fights it. Yeah, okay. Well handled, well contained.
Yeah, there was a moment where he was backing up.
Yeah, and I started thinking, like, bruh, it's 3v1. Like, it's not unrealistic for him to go B to save that M4.
I mean, that would be, yeah.
A very G2 way to give that over.
It would be. I'm not going to go that far yet. Snax was there. Hades gets the kill. But this long control is really good for NiP. It's just HeavyGod comes in with a vengeance, hits some stunning shots, nice spray save. And G2 find a second. They are clinging on for dear life. Oh my god. The fact that he keeps going for these long sports when he's the top player as well, like, you're at the risk of just dying to utility to an orb. HeavyGod trying to make it happen on his own. Okay.
Nice opening for Snax. And with Astralis dead, you breathe a little easier, right? That's the heavy hitter for NiP. You remember he bought a mate, and you're like, oh, okay. ODDIK's going to catch Snax in middle.
No one's in B.
Starting to go back B-ward, but G2 are already out through the tunnels. Shush only just gets the spot now. Will be felled by the Hades Orb. ODDIK still harasses. And there is a late lurk available from HeavyGod, who's progressing up through long. That's going to play into this a little bit later. For now, Hades and Taz looking for this plant.
Oh, he's so lucky. Wrinkle goes tunnels. He
this could still be weird, right? With Snappy on a real heater of a timing, you start to get nervous. They're just going to fight inward, especially now that you see Heavy God in the kill feed, and you know it's Taz defending the site. Great pickup from him. There isn't a kit on ODDIK, and so he's got to go looking for this. He's on for the ace. Doing it all in this round, but missing a timing on Heavy God has given him a berth back in, only for ODDIK to take it all away. It started with Aras hitting hard. Now ODDIK's in that conversation as well with an ace to keep NiP's lead building up.
What a chaotic round. A round where they don't even have the B bomb site as G2 walk in. Hades holds the line with the AWP. Taz kills the flank when Snappy has the drop on him, and through all of that, an ace comes out for ODDIK. Could not have called that one. Kitless as well. He needed that kill. And NiP feeling pretty unstoppable, you'd think. Responding to every G2 round with a round of their own. And then some. Heavy God again. He got stuck in the door there. He got stuck. And they get turned to must. The wheels are falling off.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've lost the guy keeping you in this game right off the top of the round, and so kind of just from desperation, G2 hoped that they could find something. They at least knew that NiP were heavy long. That's a bit of a reason as to why, like, Snack's chances walking that mid-smoke, a risk has to be taken in the 3-on-5, and it looks silly when you see it from the other POV. But once you lose two players at the long doors like that, there aren't exactly many good options left for you in the round. And, you know, as mentioned, for G2, in spite of the stand-in, in spite of Taz being in, they haven't dropped this map yet in Astana.
9-win streak, 3 of which at this event. NiP have other ideas. 9-2.
Dude, the thing that's sick here for NiP is, like, one of the sort of prevailing narratives around them is, like, falling down in these anti-force buy or anti-eco rounds. And in addition to that, how it feels like, you know, they constantly were coming so close to winning games. They would have so many chances to win games, but then they would lose by, you know, a matter of rounds after giving away some of those aforementioned, you know, anti-ecos or clutches. But this is a very, very tight CT side that you're getting. You said it earlier on, right? Every peak feels like there's flashes, assistance being offered. Going to be another limit test of this B-hold. Taz once more providing the entry. The rotates start to trickle in. Oh, Shush is on borrowed time. But in comes Wrinkle to keep NiP looking pretty. 3-on-2, Hades with the reply. Gets out with one. It's going to fall to Snacks to clutch up here. Planted, he'll fade away, looking for these fights. Snacks isolates the first. But he can't quite overcome the Wrinkle.
NT, but it is NiP absolutely dominating this CT side. I don't even think a third round would have made that much difference. The difference between these squads is stark right now. And NiP, every single player finding their moment in this map, having impact, bailing them out with a round win.
And yeah, this is where, like, NiP's kind of previous games have at least served as like a painful learning experience when they've lost these series by one round, you know, and you go over all the scenarios, all the rounds you could have played slightly different, the times you could have, you know, given that flash to your teammates, the times that you could have taken the pace out of the round and not got caught up in the chaos. And in a way, I think it's been beneficial that they had to learn that lesson in the early stages of this event.
Yeah.
You know, like, because now they've had time to think about that and address it and really, you know, make sure they're ahead of the game as the tournament's gone on. It's not like they're running into this problem now for the very first time after coming in looking good.
And by virtue of being the team from the EU Open qualifier, having to grind all the way through, they come in with a fairly low seed to this event. Their VRS is low. They've drawn pretty difficult teams, haven't they? They've lost to Spirit. They've lost to Aurora. Now they're playing at G2. That's not been an easy run for NiP. Sure, they beat HOTU and VP. But right now, NiP looking for their cleanest win yet. They might just get it. And with all the glory that comes from this win as well, it's not just playoffs, a chance to play in an arena with a new roster at their first Tier 1 LAN, but the many VRS points that come from this, setting them up for next season. There is no team that VRS is more important to than a team like NiP.
100%.
Built from the scratch.
100%. Like, it's such a huge extra reason for them to have to come into this fiery, for this scoreline to match the ambitions of this NiP squad, the journey they've been on. But this pistol round starts off well. Hades in with a double. Shush and Snappy serve to complicate matters there. What was a 5-on-3 for G2 now falls back even, but that bomb's still down in no man's land here.
But G2 aren't really fighting for it. The smoke's in the way. Oh, that's a nice nade. Taz put down so low, and
Shush is trying to make a play.
Yeah, this drop behind could be absolutely everything right now. If attention is still drawn, Shush finds that timing, backstab onto Heavy God, the healthy player, put down. Taz low, Hades half health on for the ace. He's trying to get all 5 right now, and Wrinkle's going to stop this in its tracks. Another kill. Just Hades, the bomb not under his control, but 20 seconds, they have to come his way, surely. They're going A. Oh, God, they're going A.
Shush.
He can make it.
He's going to have to land the jump up. He'll make it up with just enough time left. No room for error. Hades, ace, clutch, or Shush just denies him. 1 kill short of a phenomenal pistol, but the timing is good for Hades. Already up the ramp. Is Shush ready for this? On the line, but Hades is so clean with it. And this one-man army brings the pistol to G2.
Oh dear, what a round to win for Hades on his own, with NiP all around him, out mid-doors, dropping A flank in the B site. Hades has to swivel, and he still finds all 5 with an ice-cold tap to shut out Clutch Master Shush. Run it back. That's clean. Is it enough? Is it going to get G2 back in? Only time will tell. But it couldn't have happened without it.
Got Hades an AWP.
Oh my God. Got Hades a scout tag.
God getting pressured over at long. Not the man you want to lose early. But didn't have much of a say in the matter. Arostos is way closer on short than it feels like G2 are ready for. I love that he's tucked in, kind of recognizing the timing he's got. G2 think they're clearing this right now, and so Malbs, it's a nasty surprise. Hades keeping up that form, but the earlier tag weighs heavy upon him, and he's quickly dealt with. It's just Taz. There's an AWP dropped here. Well worth him trying to pick that up. But he looks like he wants to give it a go, and will get dispatched of. That AWP dropped, gifted over to NiP.
Yeah, I don't
as they steal away that force buy.
I don't mind Hades buying that AWP at this point in the game. You're so down, you need something to spice it up. You need something to catch NiP off guard. You basically have to be near flawless on the CT side. The AWP early would have set him up to do so, but instead now you've given NiP an AWP in round 3, and they are thanking you for it. 11-3. Oh!
Hades revenge arc in the Scout v AWP fight in middle.
They'll pick it up. Snappy says, I'm somewhat of an AWPer myself. Oh, Taz, maybe. 5-7. Hits the headshot. There's nades out right now, Taz. Double kill. Backstab the Malb, stopped by that AWP. And NiP, they're scrambling a little bit, but they can rest, they can relax, they can throw the AWP out. Sorry, Wrinkle. Breathe.
Far from an unwinnable round, though. Heavy God playing to contain in spawn. It does stop them backing all the way up, but there is a route open through lower. And that A site completely barren. Heavy Gods rotate from this position. It's going to be really long as well.
They would just rather play retake than leave B and then lose that site.
Good reaction. He is the util in mid and instantly shuffles out of there. Going to catch them jumping up short.
Saw him.
Now this will give UJUKS a bomb plant to play with as he's thrust into this 1v3. G2 start to scramble over, but they won't be able to stop this plant. Can UJUKS clutch up? Pressure on the long side. He's not ready for it. And so Heavy God, free round. As that double collected from his deep T-spawn push seals the deal after Taz gets the round going.
Yeah, that's a sick 5-7 round for Taz, isn't it? They will not get the orb back for Hades, but it's a price worth paying for G2 just to stay in this game. It would have been absolutely GG without that force by victory. 5 sevens and a scout. Oh, despicable. Heavy God's spray is so good. The fact that I see him like whiff sprays, but then save them. They tried to find it, they didn't find it. NiP just going for the B hit right now. They have the rounds to do so. G2 starts strong on this B site. Ouch. Blocked, of course. It's not going to stop NiP. They're coming through.
Yeah, the Taz Snacks Behold looking to get run into again by NiP. They want to try and exploit this, but and in Taz's domain, he keeps getting multi-kills here, repelling another B play.
Let's go. Scout on it. Sniper likes it.
And he's trying to bring some energy, some hype to it.
NiP looking...
Talking them up. I mean, that's a very crisp, clean round for G2. Repelling those B plays could be rough, right? And it feels like that is a bit of a game plan for NiP. Keep going back to the side of the map that Taz and Snacks find themselves on together. But there was a third pole there to help hold up that round. And so NiP, a time for quiet contemplation here in this eco round. They're going to try and suss out what they want to do going forward.
Another game where Taz outfrags Snacks. It's been way too common. Malb's able to pad a little bit. You face him together and he runs out of ammo, but the USP... Oh my God, put down the Galils, boys. They're just not meant to be. Snacks gets nothing. They know one player's trapped. But this is already, like, it's fine for G2. They're not going to lose this, but it's already an ugly round. Taz saving the day. Another double for Taz, third in a row. G2 are still in this. MR12 can come at you quick.
I mean, I think that's why you see... Oh. Oh.
I was wondering, I was like, there's no B stream. Who's screaming? Oh, it's Taz.
Taz is letting them have it.
Yeah.
Letting them know. Trying to get in NiP's head. I mean, you know, adding to the psychological pressure of this is... like, because this was such a one-sided game. This felt over.
Okay, what are you saying?
I mean, you know, just pointing out, now there's only a handful of rounds between these squads.
Sure.
NiP taking those kind of, you know, quasi-timeouts, now combining that with the real timeout, trying to cook up solutions. But Taz is yelling at them as he's multi-killed the last 3 rounds to help get G2 to this position.
Yeah, I feel like we still need Malbs to actually do something in this game. He's 7 and 16. Been vastly irrelevant. And that's despite, like I said earlier, the last couple of games he's really performed. He has put G2 on his back with Heavy God. It's been this firepower duo. Start to finish, just Heavy God with Hades on the CT side.
And like, you know, losing to a team with a standard, with their coach playing is like never a fun experience anyway. But if you lose a comeback, that's where you really start to beat yourself up over it. So I think that's why you see Taz being the one to do the yelling. He's trying to get in NiP's head.
He has nothing to lose. Snacks blocking middle, trying his best, but they're running through that smoke. Oppressive push for NiP, and Snacks cowers in the corner. Shush makes him. 5-on-4 for NiP. Force that kill. They've split the map into two. A double setup on either side. And UJUX hits that timing.
Heavy God, that's so unfortunate.
He doesn't know. He
Having
doesn't know.
Great game right now is Heavy God, but this very important round decided on a missed timing. That gets UJUX out. Long kill for free, and MALBS is pincered.
Bomb has been planted.
For Taz and Hades, so far removed in this 2-on-4, they just have to back out and save, and so NiP don't wait long once these guns come out to find map point here on G2's pick.
Going for the slam as well. If they take this AWP out, G2 don't want to lose everything. They've at least got money.
I think, you know, the thing that's going to now start to kind of hurt for G2 is this idea of, you know, you've actually tightened this game up, and you're doing this all with Hades and Heavy God both having some high impact rounds in there. Now you're really feeling that absence of MALBS. It's like, you showed up here, got kind of blown out the water, and it was only Heavy God playing well. You know, you're a bit limited in terms of players that can, like, start or have a rough go at it here. But then Hades had that activation, right? The ace and the pistol, finding some success and getting the ball rolling on his AWP. You have 2 of your 3 stars looking fine for G2. And now you're really starting to feel the absence of MALBS MD. No, in the situation they're in, there isn't really room to have a quiet game. Double AWP. Snacks and Hades donning them.
This is where NiP absolutely should just be closing out the map, taking G2's pick, breaking a 9-map win streak on Dust2, and going to their go-to of Nuke. Can they keep it clean? Pack play at this B, this long position. Aros at B. They flash through. Heavy got great spot to be in, but he can't finish his meal. First kill, and he won't put Shush down.
Feels rough, like that fantastic first half for Heavy God falls apart here in the second. Some missed timings at Long now found to open up what might be their last round of play here on Dust2.
And you know MALBS feels the pressure. Just the fact that he's playing this position shows he knows if he doesn't multi-kill right here, they're going to lose this game. He can't play safe. He can't play behind the smokes. The issue is NiP are rotating. That bomb is going into Taz again. Even if MALBS gets his kills, it might not be enough. And they're not giving him the satisfaction. They're not swinging long. A re-smoke comes in.
I mean, G2 are actually starting to pull extra players over.
Yeah, but will that last? MALBS gets his, clears out Long entirely. In fact, Wrinkle does get the trade, but they're going in B, and the AWP is ready. Snacks hits his shot. Taz tries it as well. Snacks with 2. And Taz behind the site, only 15 seconds. Wrinkle will not be able to join this party. Aros is a dead man walking. No bomb pot in this position. He's going to just try, go for it. Hope he gets the respect. Snacks swings in, and there's no time to win.
Wait.
Oh! My God, that came too close for comfort. Stellar hold for Snacks.
Unless you want second opinion.
Double kill and stops that plan. NiP overcook, perhaps. You can tell they're feeling the pressure a little bit.
I mean, with how often you've been left saying at the end of these games, "Ah, NiP so close," but it gets away from them. You can understand, you know, where those nerves come from.
This can't be that game, can it? I've never really bought in after that first half.
You still imagine, you know, with all these opportunities left, 5 chances to close out this game, the option to run back these B pops, the success that they've been finding in some of these openers. Even if NiP have, like, creeping worries, I don't know if they're, you know, close to freaking out yet. G2.
They can reblock.
Take away the upper tunnels. And that's put a bit of a pause on this round for NiP. I like the info that comes with it if you're Astralis, so he hangs around here. Wrinkle waiting. And be given a fight. In the meantime, ODDIK tries his hand at the drop down, but MongolZ is right there. He hears that. Then they go into this crossfire in mid.
Taz multi. Feels like a Taz multi. Flash back in. Won't swing the AWP, but Wrinkle gets caught off guard in the doors, and that B smoke push, it's getting desperate for NiP. I'm getting a little bit scared right now. As G2 farm up yet another round. Snax is even going for the smoke push.
They walk past each other.
Yeah, but there's players in B. There's only 10 seconds. You ain't winning this. Oh, Taz realized what was going
good
on.
realization.
But again, it's irrelevant, isn't it? Snappy kind of almost wants to die. He's not going to get given that until maybe after time. Oh, both of them. After the clock expires, the AWP is also lost. G2 pick it back up. They've got a double AWP. NiP have no money. There's a 4-round gap.
Oh dear.
Oh dear indeed.
Out of all the ways you could have lost that round, that is the worst.
Oh dear. Look at that cash on the left side. Wrinkle, Snappy have nothing. Like. Ooh. Do we have a game? NiP haven't gone for a cat execute. They haven't done an A split. It's kind of been long or B. And that B site is closed. Still things NiP can try.
They take the full eco.
Yeah, I get it. He's going to try and buy Mac 10 next round, I guess. It's better than forcing here, then your eco, then your buy, then your force. You get 1 buy round out of your last 4 rounds. At least with this, you get 2.
Plus, you know, if you know they're running the double, or maybe you feel like there's some options open with those Mac 10s to play a bit of a faster round while you still have breathing room. But G2 closing the distance on a comeback that felt impossible. NiP were running away with this game. It wasn't even close. Hades just target shooting as they cross on in. Bomb plant here, considering, you know, what happened with players dying after time, is a really nice victory in a sense for NiP. It's just padded out these bank accounts a bunch more. They needed a cash injection, and they are able to get one with the cap play.
Very happy with that. They can buy the AWP. They've got everything they need. Obviously, max loss bonus here for NiP with how this game's been going. And they need to close it. They have 3 opportunities to do so. I mean, if NiP bungle this game, it would be their worst loss since Forest retired. Double AWP continues. Tag is nice for Wrinkle. That's despite the HE in the doors. Cat take for G2. But Xbox is in the way.
I mean, you wonder if last round was a bit of a proof of concept. They liked the room they were given over on Cat. You said it yourself. We haven't really seen many of these A splits yet.
Oh my gosh. They smoke the molly, they boost over. That's a cool plan for G2. That will catch you off guard. The flash does nothing. Hades grabs a kill. Shush out long, trying to force this game to finish. Finally, NiP take that control with 3. There's still a second player at the short side. G2 remain cognizant of that. Snax, missed shot with the AWP, sees him scaling closer and closer. He will fall. Hades hits a second, trying to save this game. Him and MongolZ put together a round as Hades finds a third off the AWP. 21-11. This second half activation from Hades has been admirable.
I mean, more than that, it's been game defining. It is the whole reason G2 is still in this. Wrinkle left to save. Hades with another multi-kill round on his AWP. Started this second half with the ace to bring G2 back into it. And he's been firing on all cylinders ever since. Now creeping up, overtaking Heavy God as the top performer for G2. And that is a round where, you know, anything less than what he does, and it feels cooked for the G2 squad. And you can feel the pressure is well and truly set in now for NiP. Early on, you know, they still had 5, 6 chances to kind of take this game over the line. You imagined it wouldn't get to them, but these rounds are getting really hectic, very scrambly. And all that kind of synergy, right? We were crediting them early on with, oh, there's always flashes for these peaks. There's always players ready to trade. There's a lot of intent behind it. Okay. Wrinkle catching Snax. He'll fall early, and a 5v4 that you cannot trade if you're G2.
Yeah, Heavy God realizes they're coming out as well. All that nade, all that utility is a big warning sign for G2, who are out of position. They basically have to cap flank, but they don't want to go too soon in case it's not all of NiP. But NiP says, screw it, we got a 5-on-4. I want to finish this game. Let's go.
Heavy God will burn, only able to take one to the grave with him. MongolZ quiet here for the G2 squad. This might have to be the MongolZ MD turning point. The round stalls out for a moment as NiP wait for util. MongolZ on this line, can't quite find his angle, and Wrinkle will pluck him out. G2, they embarked on this wild comeback, and we've attributed a lot of it to Hades, 21 kills deep, 2v4. And it might all come undone unless Hades can clutch up. NiP, 1 AWP kill from Wrinkle through the mid doors, a pace picked up, and finally they're looking to take Dust2 over the line. It was labored, it was difficult, but NiP do break through and steal away G2's map pick.
They do indeed, and gotta love the fake comeback, the classic fake comeback. At the end. But look, I mean, let's be clear. This is NiP taking away G2's map pick.
For G2, the chances have never been better for NiP to lock in this playoff berth. They're now going to Nuke their map pick in this one, a map that they themselves are on a 5-win streak on. Are NiP cooking, Hugo?
I think they're cooking. They almost got cooked. They almost got burnt back on Dust2, right? 12-6 going to a very close game by the end, but NiP closed it on a half buy with a saved AWP. Now, Harry, G2, 9-win streak broken. How about a loss streak? They've got 5 in a row felled on this map, 2 of them at Astana against Brazilian teams. So G2 need to change something now, otherwise NiP are going straight to those playoffs. 1 spot between these 2 rosters. NiP only rounds from it. Got an A-pop.
Nice openers for Snax.
Knife out.
And he's hitting you with a bit of a vintage play. The knife in the squeaky door, but not needed. Snax's double was more than enough. G2 gonna find success in the pistol.
Snax and Taz on the same bomb site. You see why NiP want to go for the upper play right there. We may see some more attempted abuse of this position, but don't even get a kill in this pistol round.
You know, Hugo, I keep my ear to the streets. I like to know what the public discourse is, and I see people surprised to find themselves rooting for the NiP squad. And that's fair, right?
Yeah.
But the surprise is fair. It's like They did completely botch the CS division for the longest time and took like a legendary team and kind of ran it into the ground over years. But here's the thing. This, signing of this roster and kind of rebuilding from the ground up, having to do it all the way through the VRS grind, going back to basics, I think that shows, a promising change in direction from NiP. On top of that, though, just for the individual pieces here, I think there's a lot to get behind, right? Wrinkle just having his contract extended, someone that has been looking for that big break into the upper echelons.
Yeah.
Then you have Shush. Oh, hold on a second. Oh my God, don't win this. It's just Tech9's bit of armor in behind it, and it looks so contained. 5-on-3, G2.
Oh, no.
It's getting away from them. Oh dear. You thought they had this in the bag. The Malbs double felt like it was enough. Oh. And it's all fallen apart. Hades, Heavy God. The two heavy hitters from that opening map. Can they save the day? It didn't feel like it had to go this far. It didn't have to be like this, G2. It's just Heavy God, 1v3. And there's no invite. There's no reason to go for this. There's no one to offer up that kill to bring him back in. Heavy God left to the extremities. NiP steal it away with the force buy in a 3-on-5.
Oh, it felt done. It felt already done, Harry. 2 from Malbs, and then everybody crumbles, and the pistols provide a round for NiP. That's a disaster. But, if you want to add some levity, let's go back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I actually liked your angle.
Dude, the other, look, I'm going to keep going. The one that's super sick to me is Snappy, right? Because this guy, his whole career has been like a captain playing second fiddle to literally anyone else in Denmark who also was a captain. And he's always been having a grind and build up rosters. Most notably and most famously was that Ent squad that he was a part of. And they went on to have good results. He's a part of building that team from the ground. Then he gets the Falcons call up. That was supposed to be, finally, Snappy's time in the limelight. He ends up in a Falcons team that we learned after the fact was a dead team walking for a long time, and the vibes seemed atrocious. And it's like, that was his big opportunity. That was the big squad he got to be a part of. Now having to go all the way back to grassroots level to try and build this team back up through the VRS.
And I think that's probably the most admirable part for me. It's something we've talked about a lot. It's, you look at some teams, and for understandable reasons, teams like Heroic, for example, have, are still very relevant because they bought the Sangal core and then they added pieces, they made it better, but they bought a team that was already inside of that top 30, top 40, that would have the chance to get invites. For this NiP team, we've watched their grind for the past 4 months.
Yeah.
It's been admirable having to play all these online games, even the qualifier here, having to go through hundreds of teams without losing a single match, Harry, to make it to LAN.
And, I think there's been so many players across the history of Counter-Strike who, when they've kind of been near the top, especially when they've been around a while, it's like, I don't know if I want to go back to the grind all over again, I think, even if you think about a Jame, for example, in that type of position, it's when he did leave that VP squad, it was weighing on him for a while. Do I want to grind my way through? Now, obviously, he's kind of played his cards there, and actually, it turns out he is fine. But man, I think it's very, very commendable, especially when this has been the story of the guy's whole career.
Yeah,
is having to build up these squads,
and all these pieces have, good reasons to get invested, like the Aros-Dos Ujux combo that we said were too good for the SOAR team. We even talked about potentially them going to bigger and top teams, and they didn't get the opportunity. They got benched by their org, perhaps for not wanting to re-sign, and didn't get to play the major, did they? So
then lastly, you have Shush, the last thought of that old Heroic squad, right?
Yeah.
The one who kind of got pushed to the extremities.
Especially when we've seen how well every ex-Heroic player has done.
Yeah. With the exception of their kind of star duo players, who have fallen on some harder times. Yeah. No, Shush was someone who, even compared to Tessa's, didn't get to kind of stick around in the same vein, has had to grind all over again. Got a fresh new haircut to do it, though, and bring in a great attitude and display of force to the server here in Astana. He's been putting up some fantastic numbers as Shush.
Yeah, 1.31 rating, third highest rated player
And that's
in
what,
the event.
you know, being in these anchor positions, sort of like when we were crediting players like Jimmy P back in the day. I said very recent.
Sure.
But, you know, when Jimpat was putting up these crazy numbers, it's like, you know, he's not in these star positions, and that's what made it so impressive. Hold on a second. Backstab in for Hades. Shush will die in the back of the lobby. G2 look to stumble back to their feet here.
Arostos here's the drop.
Ooh, getting tricky with it now is Arostos. He's disappeared up onto the roof. His teammates have a lot of room out in the yard, and they just don't know where the sweet rice has gotten to. It's the sweet rice and snacks is hungry.
Got no kills already on the A1S. Full HP. Taking the lobby, but he's missed that timing. Arostos has reset. Down the ladder, re-enters lobby. Either way, the bomb is being... Well, G2 have realized that. They've started to group up. Still a 2v4.
The X-Sword duo aren't nearby to play into this.
Just need to plant safe.
Do not lose this.
God.
Snack's dead. Snappy will hold on. The captain of NiP makes sure that round doesn't go wild.
Yeah, Snappy's had his individual moments in this tournament for sure. Been able to hold his own and a lot of engagements. Been very keen on the timeouts after a round he's disappointed in. A leader with his heart on his sleeve. And I want to go back to the map because we've talked about Train a lot for NiP. Of course, that's G2's Instaban. It goes straight away in this veto, but this is actually NiP's most played map. And to a large degree of success. We mentioned the 5-win streak. I will add the caveat. That's a Fragadelphia. But even in the qualifier, it was a very successful map for them to get to this event. So they're more than happy about where they are right now. They're showing it. 60% of their one rounds on the T side anyway. Gonna keep flexing on this upper site. Taz tries to find his double. Hades does hit his shot. That's outside on the silo. Either way, they lose A and NiP. If the util is used well here, they can win the round off of it. G2 could get stalled out at the moment. Could get naded in heaven. Right now, G2 are walking through lobby flank. That's going to take so much time. Time you can't afford. No kit. Does Shush get caught here? Back of the lobby. Yeah.
Oh, no. Picked up for free. 2v4.
No time.
Up
They've
against
lost.
this pistol.
They just lost, though. They've lost. Oh, my God.
You were saying?
How? Yeah, I was saying they've lost.
I hoped.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
It was very close.
But yeah, no kit. I'm surprised they're going for such a slow play. I mean, you see, it comes down to the margin, but in terms of with that play, they got the kills as quick as they physically could have while walking through lobby flank. And hey, it's not an awful round for G2. They come in with a half buy, they leave with a bunch of guns, they kill all of NiP, but that doesn't matter unless they capitalize, unless they start winning rounds right now. NiP 5-1 up.
I mean, also, I think, like, for NiP, that's a real huge sigh of relief moment. Obviously, not just because they won the round to time, thankfully, versus the Pistols. Anyone would be sighing with relief at that. But it's like, that is how they lose a lot of these rounds. They go for these very direct 5-man plays up against Eco, and so often it feels like it comes back to haunt them. And that was nearly an example of that, but through the clock, it didn't happen. And so one of these pitfalls that NiP have been running into didn't rear its head.
Taz made a really great play there.
Oh, good awareness on Hades.
Oh, dear. Taz made a great play, but then he dropped in to get the AK. They hunt him down, they get the vent, and G2 still holds strong. Hades starting lower.
I don't know how to feel about, like, the NiP anti-eco plays. I feel like it is often, you know, on the back of those like full 5-man fast rounds, but it's weird. Like in principle, that should be fine. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like to the train games that we've seen, like they lost to Spirit and then the next day they did it again, like 2 yard rushes, 5 players out main, Diana pistols.
Not afraid to go fast, hey? Showing that on this A site yet again. Look at the smokes. Taz is hiding inside. He doesn't know where to look. Snack's picked. They're out in the middle of the site. Taz appears out of nowhere with a double. Maybe that's enough. The chaos allows Heavy God to come swinging in with 2 more of his own. Wrinkle in the clutch, shut by the AWP. And G2 holding on to this top site. It's Taz again.
They don't have money, boys. Care for some crazy shit again.
That's a misread of the economy.
That is a misread on the money.
I can see why you'd call that because you got all those kills on that lost round, but NiP won 5 in a row. They've got a 4-buy. So G2, they might play an anti-eco setup. It's interesting to know. They think this is a low-buy round for NiP. There are 5 AKs. The call comes in pretty quickly with the amount of util, the spam from NiP. Nice break on the smoke. Hades had a great CT side on Dust. He's looking to repeat it.
Snacks with the lobby aggression. Catches Shush back at the door and a 5-on-3. Gets even sweeter with Heavy God plucking Aros DOS out of the round. NiP are now split up.
I don't know why they... Oh, okay. Snappy had so much room. It's a shame to see Aros DOS just walk and fight ramp like that. When Snappy is round CT spawn, goes back to find the secret player, but he's come up the vent instead. He's made a path at least to come outside. And G2 smoke main. NiP won't complain about that. They can cross down lower together. G2 abandoning this bomb site. Playing to retake as a unit. This is fine, but it's a long rotation to the ramp for some. That may force MIBR down the vent, which could be a big issue. We'll see if NiP hold on to it. Molly's going to buy them a few seconds before they go for this stick. And full ramp.
Yeah,
nice.
You don't have a lot of time to get set up here either if you're NiP. Wrinkle feels trapped in the site. Hold on a second. He's not the one trapped there. They're trapped in here with Wrinkle. 2 quick kills. It's going to fall onto the shoulders of Snappy to try and clutch up. Damage done, but he can't long out that skirmish versus MIBR's MD.
NT for Wrinkle. Nice that G2 stick to their protocol. The call was give them lower, so you don't want to see players rotate down the vent in that kind of position. There could just be a player sitting inside of it. G2 all go ramp as a pack. They trade out to win the round. Exist calling a timeout. Because NiP have let G2 back in. This was 5-1 up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, thinking about how kind of Exist is looking at this, it's like they had that 1 round versus the Pistols where everyone dies, and now it feels like that's really throwing them through a loop. They haven't picked up a single round since that point. They've fallen fairly dominantly in favor of G2. Now you're running out of money. You've given up a bunch of these advantages that you had at the start of this game, and G2 are finding a way back in. So a good time to try and stem the bleeding. And I mean, you know, on Dust2 you saw like the idea of like trying to exploit Taz and Snacks. It felt like, you know, with Taz being in this top site and then running a bunch of these top site hits, they've been looking to do that again, but they largely weren't able to break through. And so, you know, bullying the Taz Snacks bomb site has not treated NiP well in these games. Have to look for other answers. Yard smokes and crossing with it, but MongolZ is in a good position here.
Oh, he just walks into him. Heavy God on the ramp, holds with the AUG, and 3v3 for NiP as Shush gets a trade out A. NiP can freeze. They walk back. MongolZ, there are always timings outside, so calls to Taz, who will come and re-clear this. Good space being taken. As NiP recommit, Taz should go no further than this. Whoa, lucky to be alive right now. And NiP take that as a sign to go back. They leave Wrinkle in the yard and perhaps want this main split. Heavy God with the AUG. It's back in fashion. He's got a nasty spray on him. Let's see. Oof.
For Wrinkle, Heavy God, the AUG gone, and Taz with his earliest skirmish seeing him brought down to 5 points of health and retreating into this B site. He can't go for this.
Taz Ninja Defuse.
I mean, I actually don't hate it. Oh my God, is he? No, he's.
Is there an AK somewhere?
Or is there an AWP? There's a
okay, yeah. Save is definitely the right call.
But
no.
Flying Ninja Defuse AWP Taz round 1v2?
No. This is the right call. You want Hades feeling good in this game.
I mean, I think Hades is bringing a hell of a lot to the table right now. Whenever you're seeing him in the comms, he's very vocal. He's both trying to bring energy and results, right? And he's certainly kind of calling his plays at the start of every one of these rounds. A big reason as to why Dust2 even got interesting for G2 in the first place. Hades doing a lot.
Yeah.
Even managing the investment at the top of this round. He's the guy getting the AWP back. So.
Hunter's not here. We know how vocal he is in CT side in Nico's absence, so it makes sense that someone's going to fill those boots. And it's often the AWP calling the shots, calling their moves, what they need from the team. So Hades, aggressive. MongolZ to support up close. They can still make it behind red. Hades has to be aware of this. This is a scary setup. Hades pulls back. And MongolZ's heard a Molotov go out, so he knows it could be a player crossing secret. He's going to try and take his timing. Flank the lobby, go for the bulk play. They don't believe it's many outside, and they would be right. MongolZ could win this round off of this position now. The bomb dropped, Snappy, caught off guard. MongolZ will come back. He's going to be aware of U-Jerks, but he is just probing B right now. NiP recover that bomb. And B is locked in, so this is a very difficult round for NiP. Take in mind, they have no util to make anything happen. U-Jerk kind of lost here. No kill's going to get presented. His team might join him ramp. Hades is AWPing it. They're going to go down the vent.
Snacks with the spam. Can end this right now. Wrinkle has lent him a helping hand, but U-Jerk's getting that kill on a real good timing, and Wrinkle continuing to get kills in upper, this time on the enemy. Will make it down in the B site with the bomb in tow. MongolZ arriving on the scene very, very quickly. Last spotted aggressive out in the yard. They weren't ready for him fast on the secret flank. Arostos should be good to get this, but it feels like he's missing his window right now. Longer this goes on, maybe the less MongolZ expected, but no, he's going back and he's checking the back lines. Arostos still gets away with it, and so it's Taz versus Arostos. See if G2 can look to split the difference on this half. Taz sticking it. Arostos, will he call his bluff? No. Comes in big with the swing and locks out Taz in that 1v1. NiP, a bare minimum, They've won out the half here. Stumbling back to their feet after that 3-round hiatus. They've broken through the G2 defense, and now G2 left with little money to work with.
What an important round for UJUX here. You see the impact of those 2 kills. Usedu is lost on B. Heavy God gives up that frag in the window, and he only gets legged by Hades. So he not only kills the B anchor, but he finds the AWP as well. And so his team down the vent assured in getting that nice open bomb plant to clutch the round out with. That was a very difficult round to win for NiP. They still find a way. Winning half. Snacks with a tech. And NiP can feel it now, but I'm never going to call this game too early after what we've seen from NiP after just last map. How uncomfortably close that got. All of that aside, it's undeniable that NiP are in a great position to make it to playoffs of Astana. And what a showing that would be for a roster that has just been vying for a chance, an opportunity. Well, they don't look to waste it. Here we go.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm fully listening.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hear everything.
Me too. Take what we can get.
Something that surely does feel nice for G2 with, you know, Hades being a vocal player and looking to kind of do that Hunter-esque job of helping out on these CT sides. Is like, you know, this is first time getting to meet the rest of the gang, and it's a very promising showing that this is, you know, the vibe he's bringing from day one while you're here with your coach standing in. Not like he's taken time to be polite. Been assertive throughout. There is this stack in the lower site. Snacks playing up close, knife pulled.
Wow.
Arosdos stabbed out a play, and now he's going for the defuse. Snacks is making like a YouTube video, man. What is this? He's just knifed them, stuck the bomb right under their noses. Snacks, the king of the trolls. That is wild.
Under the bridge. And NiP pay the price.
Oh, cool, let's go.
That's a classic Snacks move right there. That's an old school Snacks play. Every now and then you get a glimmer. And that will save G2 for at least the last round of the half. It felt like a round they were destined to win with that stack, but Snacks put some magic on it.
He's ice cold as well. Like, you wouldn't know. He just knifed the guy, insta-defused the round in the smoke.
I mean, they're down. Like, the G2 are still in trouble. 5-round CT side nuke. It's a long way from a 1 game.
Yeah, but like he just did something like you see in those videos where it's like, I'm silver 1 and this is what my lobbies look like. Like, look at what he gets away with.
That's pro game, by the way.
Bro, you're not supposed to win rounds like this. Okay, that's a very nice, you know, blast from the past from Snacks. And it's given G2 a much-needed boost, that 1 extra round, closing the gap between them and NiP. Now they embark on their T-half. Heavy God to open.
Wow, down the vent.
Straight down the vent with 3.
It's a ballsy call. We'll see if it pays off. UJUX, nice shot. The Julies as well, coming up with some kills. Snappy just chasing in that B site, denied by Taz, who's looking for another double, but he can't do it. Out of ammo, Wrinkle 1 health, they go hunting, chasing down this low player. He has nowhere to go but the graveyard. 3-on-1. And they know where Aurora was. He slipped down the vent since. Taz taking that bomb back up around the world. Vent to ramp to heaven to A. G2 with a pistol.
Two players in the site. It's Taz and Snacks, and Snacks gets deleted, but Heavy God will end up in a very powerful position. It isn't even required because Taz has it on lock. So yeah, snuffing out Aurora. G2 getting in with a pistol round. That's now 2 in a row for G2 and a chance for even more, as then they'll be playing out there. I was going to say anti-eco, but NiP do put money in to this next round. Talk about old school Snacks moments. You think of some of the shotgun moves. Well, Shush is looking to channel that, bringing out the Nova into this force buy.
The one FAMAS in the best position for this round. They have a flash for Wrinkle, but it's on ramp, so he's going to have to do this on his own. Snacks jumps in. There's no trade there. No one close. So it looks like a solo play. Was that the intention here for G2 as 2 players sit behind main? This kind of forces you to do a late A hit. Hades has backside util. And NiP have 3 strong top site. G2 go walking in. MIBR needs a clean entry or this goes wrong. Oh, that's more like it.
Awkward timing.
Oof.
Shotgun does nothing. And Hades double kill on the opener. Looks to bring them in. ODDIK's dead. Hades real clean on these SMGs. That's a welcome addition to your Orpa's bank account. 3 kills coming from the MP9 and MAC-10 combo.
Snappy baited so hard there by those grenades from Hades. He turns to look at the site as a backside molly flash comes in, and right as he turns, MIBR comes around the corner. Entries are good for G2. So NiP's force to the wayside.
And I mean, this puts G2 on a level game.
Yeah.
About to move into the lead.
Nothing's impossible at this point, right?
And, you know, if you want some more positives, right? Like, one of the feelings at the end of Dust2 was like, damn, if only MIBR had looked better from the get-go, maybe we could have had a real game on our hands. Well, he is performing far better here on Nuke. Sort of 3-man tag team that have to punch above their weight, and MIBR's Heavy God and Hades all up in double digits and are leading the way for their team. So you have a bit more to work with here if you're G2. And there's no denying it. They do feel a little more nervous here on Nuke. Yeah. You even felt that when they, you know, lose everyone and win the round to pistols in the first half, then go on to lose 3 in a row. In kind of a disjointed, more anxious fashion than you'd seen from them right off the top of this map. Right now, they feel so close to those playoffs, so close to the big payoff of those VRS points as well. That's where the nerves creep in. It's one thing to imagine winning and what it might feel like. It's another to actually do it.
Pressure on. Snappy relieves it with a kill. UJUX's CZ does another in, and Snappy, it's ugly, but he's got his teammate right behind. 2v2 now up the vent, denied by Taz. Arostos armorless. There's an AK here in the door. Maybe, just maybe, but Snacks takes the perfect position. It's all timing now for Astralis. He hears that plant come in. He knows he's got a 1v1. Snacks will not let him get it done. G2, anti-eco is fine. 8-7 in the lead now on NiP's map pick. This is meant to be NiP's go-to. A 5-win streak versus a 5-loss streak.
And it should go without saying, but like playing Nuke with a stand-in should feel very punishing.
But Taz did well on CT side on that top side. He had a couple of multi-kills. NiP stopped going for A attacks.
No, and to the credit of Snacks and Taz here, you know, more so Taz in this instance because he's the guy standing in, but it felt like the NiP game plan on both maps was sort of, yeah, let's abuse their sites. Let's try and just get them off to this horrible start. They kind of are the weakest links in the team. There's no doubt about it. On Dust2 to open, Taz was Mr. Multi-Kill at the B site. Wouldn't let them in. And was far and away from being a problem on the top site here on Nuke, repelling a bunch of those A plays. Obviously with the help of his team.
Oh.
Nice opener for Wrinkle, though. And MIBR falls out the round early.
Yeah, huge scalp to find on this yard position. Hades not giving a pick back with all these smokes in the way. Snappy gets back in the garage, but can't really move from this position now. He is stuck. G2 creep down secret. Unspotted. Ujokes 8 and 12. He has a Molotov and all of G2 coming his way.
Good info on the jump check at least, and not punished. 3 players spotted, but G2 keep walking this. Quiet as they go. Snappy backstab now gets activated, and Hades not long for this world, I'm afraid. Snappy's going to collect that one for free.
Just taking it.
And now G2 feel like they have to go back and try and flush Snappy out through the back line. That's Taz to face him. Clean stuff to find Snappy. If Heavy God can try and keep the porch light on, open up the back door, maybe G2 could have got something going. Instead, it's Taz, 1v4 ace clutch attempt. And needless to say, he's not going to make it dead.
Yeah, stuck. That's a horrible angle, fighting the top silo player in B. Just shoots his feet out from under him. And NiP with a really nice round. An entry kill for Wrinkle. Makes a safe rotation. Stops the B play. Snappy with a flank. And he didn't overdo it as well. Got his kill and just lived, knowing 5v3 so valuable there. G2 boxed in that B bomb site.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah, it was a great peek from Wrinkle. As you're trying to go for the kind of AWP spot out in the yard, that is your first contact point, a player on top of the silo holding for that push. And it's great awareness for that to be the angle that Wrinkle's committed to.
And now a hero gun from MIBR. Surrounded by 4 armorless Glocks. So safe to say it has to be the one-man army. Oh.
Well, none-man army.
No one gets out. Flank is in, and that's a bomb as well. NiP knowing when to disengage, just prodding and poking all over the map. Each getting a kill. Shush goes back and drops the bomb again. Taz is late to the lobby. There's nothing in here for him. Might even think about just saving that AK for MIBR.
Come on, Taz. No armor behind this AK. Tries his hand at the ramp fight. But Ujerks will get rid of him still. It was just a hero gun round for G2. Did not leave the mark they were hoping it would. And that's NiP retaking their lead in this second half. And right now, Snappy knows he has G2 in a vulnerable position. A chance to break the money at G2 yet again. And at that point, that would leave you within touching distance of those playoffs. Only 1900 at the end of that last round, so like this buy is so far from perfect for G2. It feels like a massive understatement. Like this is a rough buy. And what it means, you know, for the game overall, the idea that this kind of hits like a 2-for-1 round if you end up losing it this late in the match. That couldn't go worse. Shush flashed in for the play. And he decimates G2, this cobbled together buy. One of the last few chances that G2 have here gets decimated by an MP9 hot push.
Oh, that couldn't have gone better for NiP. Just 3 kills, no answer for G2. Round thrown to the wayside in a millisecond. And they just get out like nothing happened.
And here's the thing, I think you go so passive, so unbelievably passive. Don't give them a reason to want to attempt this. But when that clock, you know, hits kind of the 25, 30 second mark, you're going to want to go hunting. Removing these guns have massive implications with where the G2 money is at.
Yeah, and there's an MP9 still in place, so Shush has almost nothing to lose in re-attempting some aggro. G2 seem pretty far out, though. No one's going to find Heavy God here. Hades on the silo. Might have to watch his back, though.
I mean, if anything, I feel like that's the place you're kind of beelining to if you're Shush. The expectation is they're going to be back in T-Spawn. That's why Hades should have this cover. But he's done well to dodge him thus far. He can't forever. And they know now that Hades was up on top of the silo. No one else in a position to hunt. And NiP play for their own money, so these AKs get out of it. And in a way, sure, it gives more intrigue to G2 in this next round, but all this really does in the long term is prolong these money troubles, right?
Yeah. It's like a poison chalice, you know? It's you have guns, yes. You have a chance to win a round with 2 guns, but no one's on the same page. No one's on the same money. With constant maths to do, figure out how you want to buy eco, future saves drawn into question. What a flash for Astralis. And Shush does well by it. I don't think you've ever seen 2 more blinded players than that. It's a tilter for G2, but they buy back. Give it another try. Fast outside. Live and die on their own sword. Snappy has a bunch of HEs in hell, but they've already crossed before the smoke bloomed. And NiP didn't even catch them. Of course, they're aware. They know G2 can be lower. G2 will do a good job of avoiding the Molotovs, making it down relatively unscathed. And NiP have no one lower. They have no one even close to lower. As far as G2 are aware, this site is free. They just plant. I mean, this is a great position for G2 right now. Bomb out double? Oh dear, now it's loose. Smoke out single, bomb out double. Someone needs to grab that plant. Wrinkle holding on to the lurk. Slacks just walks in back turned. And sure, G2 have a plant, but that kill on the lurker now entices NiP in. They know that they have all of G2 inside of this lower bomb site. 2 points of rotation. Aristos down the vent late, and no one there to stop him. Time is NiP's only enemy.
3 heavy hitters still in this for G2 as well. These are the 3 that are meant to make these rounds happen, and with Heavy God and Hades both finding success, things start off strong. Malb's gonna add to the chaos. ODDIK doesn't know where to look as they crunch upon him. And so Faith in this trio for G2.
Feel like G2 gifted that round to NiP and they just couldn't get a single kill on the retake there, right? It's not just Taz walking out with the bomb in the open, it's Snax getting caught on the lurk as well. That's a 4v3 for NiP. But Arostos understandably has slowed down the vent, gets caught by Hades, and NiP just get picked apart on the ramp retake. G2 win a round out of nowhere. They had no business. NiP's final timeout now. 10-9. And nothing's guaranteed. Jerks and Secret playing more aggressive than previously. Only 2 players in the yard here for G2. On the fly smokes, the second wall comes down. NiP have already used their HEs on that first attempt. So G2 are going to get Snax into Secret, and Jerks is pushed into lower. Jiggling. Snax kicking up a fuss in this B site. Malbs needed that kill so desperately. Snax converts on lower. Now they can crunch ramp. He's going to go alone. There's already a player here. Snappy had an opportunity. Now he has to go back. He hears them coming in. Wrinkles moving in with the AWP and G2 cancel. What's the call here? 4v4. Snax still trying to disturb on this lower site. But it seems like G2 aren't interested. Up the vent into Arostos and Shush. Snax goes the long route. 20 seconds here.
It's very, very late in the round. Snax caught coming in, and now Shush.
Down the vent.
Trying a vent drop here. Taz is found. They're already down there. In a really rough way. That round just capitulates for G2.
Oh, they're all over the place. I guess they didn't want to commit upper after Snax dies. Taz tries to drop, but NiP just stay in their setup. They had Snappy watching lower. They had 2 on A site. Wrinkle was still roaming, found that perfect timing on Snax's rotation. What a read from Wrinkle. 11-9, and G2's money is gone. They almost have to just rush that top site. They have Mac 10s. They're going ramp.
Right into ODDIK. Holds the line with 1, gonna try and get out of there. G2 are closing the distance, rotates, scrambling down towards lower for NiP. Snappy, as the captain, is the next point of contact, only gonna get out with 1. MongolZ will get rid of him. This time though, it's not that hard-hitting firepower trio left up in this lower site for G2. It's just Taz and MongolZ. Malb's supposed to be one of the big stars in this G2 squad. Had a quiet start to this series. Hasn't been thrilled with his performances as of late in this G2 jersey. There ever was a time for Malbs to stand and deliver, it's now, but the odds so against him. Wrinkle's got him in a box. And so NiP, 3 chances to secure those playoffs. A team that this means everything to. This project trying to climb the rankings. Every game feeling like NiP's qualifier to an extent. They were barely inside of the top 50 as they approached Astana. They're looking to move up to 26th in the VRS if they win this. with more games still to play, prize money still to earn. This is a huge deal for NiP.
Yeah, right there, trying to reach that invite ranking. The opportunity in NiP's hands now. Can they grab it? Can they seize it? 3 chances before arena play. This would be Wrinkle's first playoff appearance in a big event. First time in an arena. And NiP have had trouble closing games. They've let things get too close. But these last couple of buys have been barren for G2. 2 rifles in this round. You're not going to get a better opportunity. Snappy is so committed here. This should be a trade at worst case. Snacks comes around the corner, makes it easy. That's an upgraded gun as well for G2 as they storm this lower site.
Yeah, it is a bit of a wild position for Snappy to commit to. Far safer ways he could have looked to go about that. And so the plant comes in at lower. NiP, do they feel like risking it on this 3-on-4? They already have Arostos down here. For the time being, Heavy God's not even a part of the round. 1 kill might entice them, but Arostos is unable to get it. And so NiP looking to commit to this save. I'll give G2 the respect of 1 more round. A sentence we've said many times over for NiP across this event is so darn close. I mean, 1 round at the difference. Unfortunately, you don't know when or where that round lies.
That's such a curious position for Snappy. I guess he doesn't expect 4 players down secret there, right? G2 have faked it a lot with just Snacks. Snappy feels like maybe the off angle is good enough, but he dies to the first player. And that's a gun given over to G2. That's a lot of space. He doesn't get to play his fullbacks and let NiP group up. A curious decision that will cost NiP their easiest chance to end this game. Now G2 re-enter the fray, looking for overtime. Taz's Mac 10 has been spectacular all event. He got that crazy flank and window against Big on Mirage. He's had some moments with it. He's still out-fragging Snacks. Wrinkle's had enough. Dangerous move. And he even gets out. They're going to hit this top side. Wrinkle, shotgun orb, uses it, puts it down their throat. 2 shots off Wrinkle, hits a 360, and he's going to drag into playoffs. His first appearance in an arena, and Wrinkle has earned it. He wants every single one. He'll take them down. NiP into the playoffs of PGL Astana. They 2-0 G2, and they end the run of the reverse sweep from HOTU.
Yeah, and elation for the folks on NiP. Proof the project is working. It's going in the right